Enjoy the moment.
Awkward. Good morning to you all. Mic check. Let me turn that up a little bit. Mic check. Okay. Good morning, D. D, you win. You were first. Here comes Debbie. Good morning. How y'all doing? Hold on one second. My glasses look like I cleaned them with a stick of butter. Let me try to get my glasses right. So good morning. We are going to talk about we're going to get into some hoodoo conversations. I thought about we could do a Halloween show. I might do a Halloween show. I'm not sure. Good morning. What's up? We're going to be talking about our culture there, Amethyst. Good morning, this G. We're going to be talking about boo hags and all of that. We're going to be talking about all of that. Good morning. How you doing, Rugby? Hey, little mama. Yeah. Oh, I'm real loud in my head. All right, I'm going to turn it down. So, yeah, we're going to talk about hoodoo. We're going to talk about a little bit of voodoo. As a daughter of and a Gullah Geechee descendant, Gullah Geechee heritage is in me, right? I will say that while I was not raised with an abundance of hoodoo, voodoo, Dr. Buzzard, Gullah Geechee spirituality customs, I do remember, forgive me, mom and dad, they're not dead, I don't know why I looked up, forgive me, left Twix and right Twix, but I was raised with, I remember growing up, there were some arguments in the household, in the New Jersey household, between my parents about certain customs growing up. So I wanted to just talk about, I guess I said that because I don't have the most knowledge. I'm not an authority. I'm not a hoodoo priestess, nothing like that. But we're going to learn some new things. But y'all know, last year, during the book club, when I was hosting book clubs, my last book club live stream featured Eden Royce. She's an amazing author, fiction writer. She is great. I met her through a couple of dope stories, like Every Goodbye Ain't Gone was my favorite, and then the book Spook Lights 1, Spook Lights 2, and of course now she went to another direction and wrote a young adult book, Root Magic. And so through my love of Eden Royce's work and stories, and especially the story Hag Ride for an adult audience, Root Magic for kids, good morning Joni, Spook Lights and all that for adults, right? Very different audiences. Good morning, Denise. It's good to see you. I love that y'all always say good morning. I love it. But yeah, so we're going to get into it. I'm going to point you to that old live stream. I'm not going to play too much of it because I can't watch my face, watch myself talking to other people. I just can't do it. I can do this. But we'll point to that. We're going to play a lot of we're going to definitely lift up some of the voices that talk about Gullah Geechee culture, talk about some of this mythology. So we're going to summon up some low country voices and creatives to help us understand hoodoo and all that. Also, but lined up, shout out to Stephen Bowden. We're going to do a news roundup today and real quick, and then get ready for Stephen Bowden. He has an update regarding his race. I saw some good news. He dropped in my DMs yesterday. So I said, come on, you feel free to come on and talk. And I will say this. Y'all know Stephen is a public defender. That's not a secret. There was news, part of our news roundup today. We'll cover the Crump, Reverend Nelson Rivers event and rally that took place yesterday. I believe it started at Scarlett Wilson's downtown offices, and I believe there was a second event at 6 p.m. In North Charleston. So Stephen's appearance, while I'm not going to ask him to do anything that would, say anything that would be viewed as contentious or detrimental to his candidacy or what have you, I do want Mic is so hot. The mic is so hot. The motorcycle felt like it was in the apartment. But no, I wanted Stephen to offer up any insight because Scarlett Wilson did make some comments yesterday, release some statements, and if Stephen wants to, add some commentary, I wanted him to do that here. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me get ready. So we're gonna use Bluetooth. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna do Bluetooth again with Stephen. Let me make sure I got everything ready. But yeah, so we're going to do a news roundup. We're going to do Hoodoo Heritage, Hoodoo Voodoo. We're going to lift up some creatives. We're going to lift up Eden Royce, Jason Gordine, Dr. Buzzard. I don't know which one. There's like a bunch of them. But let's go ahead and switch it up. Let me switch it up. All right, cool. So yeah, we're gonna get to this article as well because I also want to speak to how a lot of Black women have really like gravitated toward the practice of the hoodoo. Some folks of Haitian descent or Haitian lineage, I think they are into voodoo. But a lot of women are going back to their roots, and I'm saying roots because a lot of these practices are steeped in African, certain African cultures and customs and spirituality. And sometimes I think we kind of convolute a lot of that. I think sometimes our love and our desire, especially if you're a descendant of the enslaved, right? Good morning, Allie. Good morning, El Kuje. Even if you're a descendant of the enslaved, we hunger so much to learn about where we came from because so much of our origin story has been erased due to the enslavement of our people. And so I think sometimes we really do hunger to connect with the mother continent, with Africa, and which regions we may have come from. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but at all. But I think even me, I guess I'm speaking to me, my confusion, a lot of these customs and spirituality becomes a little muddy because of there's so much content out there and there's so much enthusiasm, but there's some really good pieces like this one from Wear Your Voice that kind of outline how Black women are gravitating toward these spirituality practices. But let's go ahead and Skeleton Key, y'all. Ooh, remember that movie, Skeleton Key? Jeez. Yeah, Skeleton Key F me up. But yeah, we got some videos lined up, but let's go ahead and just do a news roundup. I will say content warning. Some of the news, a lot of the news that we're going to cover does contain images of police violence perpetrated upon Black people. So I want to say that trigger warning. Now, let me do this first. Back yesterday, I tried to reference this story, a story that Jared Kofsky posted on the 15th. On the 15th. This was over the weekend, and I couldn't find it yesterday. What we end up playing really quickly, and I do apologize because it was just brutal footage without any type of editing, without any type of commentary. But I found the story, and then on Live 5. So we'll listen to that reporting, but like on News 2, y'all can see the thumbnail right in the middle here. News 2 posted it without any story. So it was really, it was just really weird. So let me hop over to Live 5, but this is the story from Jared Kofsky. Let me see if he actually has the video reporting of it. Yeah, here we go.
You booked a cozy Virgo mountain cabin with a kitchen.
Again, content warning. There's going to be some disturbing images, but this is the reporting I wanted to reference yesterday.
The time for getting back together is...
New video has been released showing a former Charleston County detention deputy pushing a man onto the hard jail floor. Aaron Renault is seen on surveillance footage pushing someone in custody onto the ground of a cell in the detention center. Well, before shutting the door, he does that. This footage is shot last fall. Just over a month later, Renault is accused of throwing a juvenile against the wall of a jail elevator. Sheriff's office fired him back in January. He was charged last month with assault and battery in connection with both incidents. Right now, he's out on bond.
Wow. So that's the story. The images are startling, to say the least. Hold on. Let me,
questions about medical.
Relentless. I'm trying to exit out, y'all. Sorry about that. Let me make sure. What time did I say Stephen? I think Stephen's going to join us at 8:15. Let me make sure. Oh, 7:45. Nope. Let me get this ready. And then we'll finish up the news roundup, right? It's sick, Allie. It's horrible. D, I agree. All right, hold on. Link on the way. All right, y'all. I'm get ready. Let me turn my Bluetooth on. Okay. Cool. All right. Make sure my Bluetooth is hooked up. We ain't gonna have no technical difficulties like we did last time. Let's go here. Connected. Boom. Bear with me, y'all. I appreciate y'all being patient. No, you don't have to apologize for that at all. Let's see. Invite friends to join. Invite friends. Get that link. That's the waiting music. Can y'all hear that? So I'm gonna copy that link. And what I'm trying to do, y'all, is work on the sound quality. So I was trying to use the chord. We're gonna get it right, but I just now gave Stephen the link. And looks like he saw the link. Yeah, let me see if he's saying something. Thank y'all for bearing with me. This is let me see, Allie, when you big time, we're gonna get you a producer. I know I'm trying to get he's hopping in. Yeah, he's gonna hop in his car real quick. I appreciate it. I'm gonna get an intern. My homie D from Zalbow Biscuit, co-owner. She was like, you need to get on the CFC portal. And Rugby, if you're listening still, I need help with that because I definitely need an intern and I will make it value added. And I got to write the description and all that, but any guidance, anyone who has ever used the CFC portal, let me know. Okay. But we're going to wait till, let me hop over to the app. I'm going to hit do not disturb. Okay. Yeah. Intern. Yeah, I got it. I'm getting it. I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna be in my bedroom. I'm not gonna be in my apartment for much longer. Just gotta figure this out. And I'm really excited about some partnerships and stuff that I've been talking about. So hopefully that'll happen soon, live events. But while I have you here, let me remember something. While I have you here, please make sure, y'all, even if you subscribe $1 a month, it really helps on Patreon. That way it helps go toward not just this content, of course, but it helps sustain me. So if you are so inclined, I know a lot of y'all subscribe. I'm actually going to open up the chat. Let me open up the chat until we have a problem. I'm not going to make it subscriber only. So if you're watching and you usually couldn't type or participate in the chat, I just opened it up. You should be able to say, hey, good morning. We only put subscriber only on when we get bots and whatnot. But yeah, if you guys, if you like this content, if you want to see it grow, please make sure head over to Patreon. You don't have to pledge $25 a month. You don't have to pledge $10 a month. It could be $1 a month, and that helps a lot. So I really appreciate the support, and shout out to everybody who's already a supporter on Patreon. It's really important. Let me make sure. Okay. Still waiting. But yeah, no, we're gonna wait. Let me see. You can help with that, Allie? Okay. The portal is a pain. But yeah, and Allie, shout out to you. I talked to is it Ewan or what is it? I talked to the dude. I talked to the homie on the campus, so I should be presenting on campus either virtually or in person sometime soon, early November. My November is already getting booked up, y'all. It's really getting busy. My birthday is November 10th. I do expect and accept gifts. Years of me never acknowledging my birthday. And remember, I'm going to be a 41 Savage in November. 41 Savage. So, November's going to be really busy. And probably take a break somewhere around my birthday, maybe after. But I'm excited about some things going on. Yes. I hope so too, D. If it's shareable, I will share it. And that's the thing. I'll talk with the professor and figure some things out. All right. Still waiting for you. Let's see if he says anything. All right. Okay. Thank y'all for bearing with me. Just for wait. This is worth the wait, I believe. Scorpio gang. 1113. How many Scorpios over here? Oh boy. My whole okay, so of course I'm a twin, so me and my twin brother was super opposite Scorpios, and he's like the most non-Scorpio, like he's not stereotypically Scorpio dude. Oh, there we go. There's our friend. Thank y'all.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Stephen, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Can you hear me okay? Tell me if you can't hear me.
Oh, yeah. I can hear you great.
Yeah. All right. And I think they can hear you as well. Thank you for making time. I know you're on your way to work, but it was great to see you to kind of give a little update yesterday via DM on Instagram. And I wanted to invite you back. People love hearing about you and your race. And yeah, I wanted you to share some updates, and also we will after our call concludes, we'll do a news update. And there was a lot of news that happened in Charleston regarding the solicitor. If you have any commentary or any comments you'd like to offer up, I wanted to extend that too. But let's start with your race. How's everything going on the campaign trail? Oh, did I lose you, Stephen?
Saying how much they've raised, how much they've spent, that sort of stuff.
Hey, can you hear me?
And
Steven.
I am just so happy to report.
Oh, man. He might be too mobile.
By about 12.
He might be too mobile.
By about 12,000. Oh, can you hear me?
No, you went out. Like, as soon as I stopped, asked the question, you went out, and then, yeah, it went in and out. Can you try one more time for us?
Okay. Am I back?
Yep, you're back.
Okay, great. Well, I couldn't be happier to report that, and what I was saying was quarterly, everybody who's running for office has to file disclosures that say how much they've raised, how much they've spent, how much money they have on hand. And I outraised Harry by $12,000 in the last quarter. For those who don't know, outraising an incumbent is incredibly hard to do. And I think what that shows is that the momentum is building. People are finding out about this race. People are engaged in it. And the thing I'm most proud of is that, Harry's got basically a few contributors that all contribute $500, $1,000. I've got some of those too, but mostly my contributors are donating $25, $50, $100.
Wow.
And I think what that shows is that these are people who are not rich. Like a lot of the people who are probably listening right now, and dug deep in their own pockets because this is the cause that they believe in.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thrilled with that. I think it accurately reflects the kind of campaign that I wanted to run and that I am running.
Yeah.
And beyond just money, today or tomorrow, I'll hit the 3,000 door mark, that I've personally knocked on 3,000 doors, talking to hundreds of my neighbors, and just, making the case for why we need a change. And, this is difficult to quantify, although we're trying, but I can see that something is changing, that people are finding out who I am, that they are excited about what I'm talking about, and that they agree that it's time for a change.
Yeah. So I'm first of all, I love the fact that you know how your campaign is working, like in all aspects. I love the fact that you understand incumbency and like how to mount, a competitive effort. to challenge an incumbent, and the fact that you've met and surpassed the incumbent's fundraising is phenomenal, and it's a testament to retail politics, your commitment to retail politics, which I don't care how newfangled tools and all that stuff can become in campaigns. Nothing like knocking on doors and connecting with your prospective constituents. There's nothing like it. So when you knock on doors of people who didn't know you, what kind of response do people give you when you knock on doors?
So it's funny when you knock on doors, people are a lot nicer to you than they are on Facebook.
There you go.
So every now and again, I'll recognize one of the names on my list as a Facebook troll, and lo and behold, they do not have mean things to say to my face.
That's right.
That's not necessarily an invitation for them to be mean to me, but just something funny that I've noticed. But everybody generally agrees on what the important issues are out here. You hear all this craziness, and in the debate the other night, Harry Griffin wanted to bring up the May 30th riot, and and people aren't talking about that. That's a year old. What people are focused on is 3 inches of rain getting floodwater almost up to their door. People are focused on real issues that affect their day-to-day lives, not this salacious kind of stuff. And that's been really refreshing for me.
I think that's exactly. I think Harry overestimated the power of, I think, what we've seen. You've already kind of mentioned it, Stephen, the online phenomenon, like where folks, because they're behind a keyboard or on a phone, they're somewhat nameless or anonymous. I think Harry overstates that type of like how that type of rhetoric or discourse occurs online. He really thought that he could or maybe he thinks that he could leverage some of that outrage, that faux outrage. And like I've said, when you came on last time and even now, you have to keep it local. People, you're right. People do not care about, they're not even talking about January 6th anymore, right? They really want to have a better, they want to improve or maintain their quality of life. And you're speaking to those issues. That's a great distinction to bring up. Harry, we know Harry. Harry has his go-to moves. So let me ask you, you saw the news yesterday. Any thoughts? Anything that we should keep in mind when viewing the news regarding the solicitor or justice for Jamal Sutherland and his family? Anything there?
Yeah, I read that statement that Solicitor Wilson put out, and it just bears repeating that she concluded that statement by saying that she welcomes scrutiny from other prosecutors with, in the interesting language to me, with different statutory options. She has all the statutory options she needs. She could charge those officers, and she's making a choice not to. It's not murder. It's not voluntary manslaughter, but I think it is. I think it's abhan. I think it's reckless homicide.
Yeah.
I think it's could be assault and battery first degree. Could be any number of things that they would charge normal people
right.
for committing the same act.
Right.
They're simply choosing not to hold these officers accountable, and that's really disappointing.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you. I know it's not always popular to talk about to challenge certain systems or people in place. So I want to say thank you, and I acknowledge that. But I also want to acknowledge that thank you for being a candidate, running your race, being honest, being true to yourself, to where you can offer commentary about something as sensitive as the Jamal Sutherland death. And I just appreciate you giving some context. I have one follow-up question. I don't want to engage in reckless speculation with you, but the way you frame some of these issues is important. Just going back to Scarlett Wilson's more high-profile appearances, like the Michael Slager case, I always tell people that Michael Slager, like to your point, like you mentioned that, there are charges that could be brought up against the two former deputies that she's not choosing to pursue. Did that type of decision making factor into Michael Slager ultimately being convicted of, I believe, a civil rights violation? Was that also like part of that decision making, or to bring the cop up on lesser charges? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think they charged Michael Slager appropriately on the state level. It was that failed in the state level prosecution. So thankfully the feds the backup to be able to pursue the civil rights violation, and thankfully the judge that it was. I'm struggling to remember the specifics, but I think he found that it was a level of murder as the manslaughter that would have significantly reduced the sentence. And I'm not a huge fan of very long prison sentences, but right. I think when a police officer abuses their power, I think that's sort of the worst level of crime.
Okay.
And so there's as a backstop to kind of deal with the state's failure in that case.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That perspective. I've always just been curious about that civil rights violation. I never really seen that in terms of, I never seen it in regard to a extrajudicial killing at the hands of the police. But thank you for that. I appreciate that, and I see Allie's also in the chat adding some context as well. So, Stephen, tell folks right now while you have them, before I let you go, what do you need from people that can support your race, even if they're not in your district, even if they're not going to be one of your constituents? What can people do to support your race?
So we are less than 2 weeks from Election Day. So now is the time to call your friends, call your family, tell them about the race, have them call 5 friends and let them know about the race, and just keep that chain on going. This is, I think you would be surprised at the kind of impact that can have in these very low turnout races. So start hitting up your friends. And there is some friends in the area are organizing a big canvas on Saturday.
Okay.
So if you'd like to spend a couple hours walking, talking to folks in the community, got some walk cards printed up with the Post and Courier's endorsement. Make sure people know about that, because I think it summarized the race so well. And so we're going to be handing that out, reminding people to get out on November 2nd. Hopefully some people who, on my original list of people who always vote in. Oh, sorry, I think I got cut off there.
Yeah. Sometimes if your screen goes to sleep, it cuts you off. But yeah, you're saying the canvas opportunity, people that I guess not super voters, perhaps you were referencing super voters. I don't know.
Yeah, so people who might show up if there was a election for governor or president, but stay home for the municipal elections because they're too busy to look into the candidates. Is usually what it is, I think. We're trying to get them out. We're trying to get them motivated and show them how important a local election can be. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, let me know. Find me on social media, shoot me a message, and we'll get you plugged in with them on Saturday morning.
Oh man. Well, thank you. We'll definitely do that, and I'll visit your page once this call is over. Stephen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort, and also thank you for doing the work too. Not just asking for votes, but actually going out there and trying to earn those votes. So I appreciate you for showing up the way you do.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone in your audience. I told you this yesterday, but it's been so fun to engage with y'all as this process has gone on, and look forward to coming back and hopefully talking about a win.
Anytime. If there's something that we need to lift up, let's do it. So anytime, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right, bye-bye. Oh, that was good. Thank y'all. I really enjoy bringing in. Let me bring this down. I really enjoy bringing in other folks. The calls are really good. Yeah. Hopefully he'll be able to see the chat later on. Y'all are giving him a lot of support. Yeah, I think it's important to. I told him you can come anytime, please. I need a, the more the merrier type of thing. I want this to be interactive. Thank y'all for also listening through and rocking with me through technical difficulties or different things. We're gonna get it, but y'all are responding, so y'all heard him loud and clear, so that's great. But yeah, I think it's important. He mentioned, I'm telling you, I can hear him. He's not using jargon, which is actually good, but I hear him. He's referencing super voters. He's done the work. I love a candidate that knows how to run their own race, even if they're a novice in the electoral space, right? It's great to hear how he knows his fundraising numbers. He knows how and this is all stuff that has to be publicly disclosed anyway. So he knows where Harry is with his fundraising. He knows where he is. He knows, like he said, the names on the list. He's already kind of seen some haters on Facebook, but when you meet them, and this is I'm telling you, that's going to be the determining factor. Whether or not they close the door and still talk shit later, that's something different. But he's more likely to convert someone who was skeptical by meeting him, and he's not a boogeyman. He's not opening up the jails and letting all the scary people out, even though. Whatever. But it's I know Harry, the thing about Harry, he mentioned this too. Like, why do you think Charleston, I was going on and on yesterday about how difficult it is, like, to organize in this area and whatnot, sometimes. And I was talking about the frustration and the characteristics of this place. But like the things I kind of complain about are the things that, I don't know if this makes any sense. Like, people really just keep it focused here. Like, they want to focus in on I got you. Thank you so much, Allie. They really, people are very myopic. I guess the thing that I rail against is the thing that Harry thinks is trying to exploit. Like, people can be very myopic in Charleston and very singularly focused. And so for Harry to try to use some far right talking points that is perhaps pervasive in certain chat rooms on certain platforms, 4chan and all the other mess, for Harry to try to bring that culture to Charleston is really ridiculous. And it's a testament to how Harry doesn't have his ammunition is corny. His ammunition is not going to be effective. It's only going to be effective for a few, radicalized, crazed fringe voters, but his core constituency are adults who are not on 4chan, who are not, on whatever Parler or whatever the equivalent of it is, So for him, like, that just shows you that Harry should be lifting up what he's done more and more. He should be lifting up. He should be just scoreboarding all the time. But the fact that Stephen is outraising him and knocking on 3,000 doors? Come on, let's go. I love a serious candidate, y'all. I love a serious candidate that's not all social media and not all, hey, let me email you, might ask for $5. No, actually be out here saying some things. All right, Allie, you just dropped something in the chat. I can close this out. You just dropped something in the chat. You said, Mika, we did a legal analysis of the solicitor Wilson's decision not to prosecute. Allie, you keep dropping these bombs. You keep, I need an interview. give me 15 minutes because we need to talk about this. We need to look through your work. But yeah, you did. So in all seriousness, we did a legal analysis, according to Allie, of the solicitor Wilson decision not to prosecute corrections officers who killed Jamal Sutherland. This is on the SC for CJR with the ACLU legal director. So let me click on that. Hey, Kia, good morning. You just missed Stephen. Had Stephen Bowden come on around just after. Yeah. This was the announcement. We looked this up when the day after. Yeah. I was over here in the chat. Y'all see me over here? Over here in the chat. But yeah, y'all please click on that link and click on that link, y'all, and please rewatch it. It's worth it. That's right. I didn't know you were. I thought you did something new. But I definitely, Allie, would love to talk to you about this and some other stuff. It's okay. It's okay, Kia. All right, so let's go back to the news roundup again. Content warning. Let me fix my hip. Hold on. Check. I'm trying to get my headphones right. There we go. Content warning. What's up, Diane Powell? Yeah, thank you for the interview. Yeah, and thank you so much. I took off, if you are watching and you are not a subscriber, I took off the subscriber only chat feature. So if you want to chime in, we turn it on when bots come and start spamming our chat. But if you want to talk or whatever, you can. If you're not a subscriber, you can definitely hop in there. Allie says yes. Okay. I voted early since she won't be in town. Look at Kia doing her thing. Remember early in-person absentee. I know it's not called early voting. In South Carolina, it's called absentee voting. But in-person absentee voting is open, y'all. Oh, thank you, D. Diane's a real one, too. Thank you. Shoot, I'm sorry. I hurt my foot, y'all. It was like, oh, boy. It fell asleep and it hurts. All right, good morning. Good morning, Brianne. It's nice to see you. So this news roundup again, y'all. We already watched a really difficult to watch story. We're now going to transition to the Nan. So Nan held an event yesterday with Benjamin Crump. Y'all know he's a nationally known civil rights attorney. And so they came in and they had a press conference and I believe a rally later in North Charleston. And so let's watch it. I don't know if this is, you know how Channel 2 News, let me see if they have actual news with this.
It's his message and his mission. Okay. Attorney Ben Crump is standing with the family of Jamal Sutherland, as he has done with dozens of families of black men and women across the country who've died while in custody of people who had authority over their rights and ultimately their lives. Why did you decide to accept this case?
Because like my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall, you don't take cases just based on the individual impact they will have on the person or their family.
That's right.
You take cases because of the greater impact it will have on the larger society.
Their cell phone video.
I want to acknowledge this. Crump does not come without controversy. But if you understand how Nan works, how Sharpton and Crump work, you understand there are pros and cons. So I want you to understand this. Having Crump involved in this, lifting up again another call for justice is important given how typically our solicitor, SLED, our law enforcement, and our judicial system, not just here in the country, not just here in South Carolina, but throughout the country, but specifically here in South Carolina, as with the Slager case. I know Stephen said that Slager was charged appropriately. I still have questions around, like, why couldn't he be convicted for literally taking the life of this man, Walter Scott. But my point in bringing that up is that Crump is going to bring attention, and he's going to provoke certain responses from our law enforcement in a way that a Mark Pepper, who's not a civil rights attorney, who is Mark Pepper, who traditionally works with law enforcement and has curried favor for law enforcement, including Scarlett Wilson. There are things that Crump can bring to this conversation and to these calls for justice that folks who are ill-equipped can't do. And so the notoriety and resources and critical questions are important. And I love the fact that, like I said, it comes with controversy because you get a lot of other stuff coming in. You get a lot of celebrity activists coming in. Y'all know I'm not a fan of Tamika Mallory or anyone of that ilk. You get a lot of that fanfare. People who actually make a quite a large sum, make a huge living off of, these tragedies. So that component is there. I'm just keeping it real. But what's important is that, you need the national spotlight, especially, and this is just my assessment, given what I know on how Mark Pepper got his hands on this family and wouldn't let go. I don't want to say. This is going to be helpful. This is going to see what Mark Pepper was effective in doing is getting a settlement so that he could benefit and the family can have an immediate, not immediate. They lost their son. It was over a year. Like we get that. I'm not dismissing it, right? And not over a year, but they lost their son. It was a long wait, right? But I believe that Mark Pepper and I believe Tamika, individual opinion, believes that Mark Pepper made sure that law enforcement wouldn't be held accountable for this egregious act. And he made sure that he thought that we were dumb enough. This is what I believe. Mark Pepper thought that we were dumb enough to see $10 million and just like stop there. When I told you that that's personal business, that's their business, right? And Crump just said that. This is not just about individual cases. This is about the system and challenging the system, right? And we need to hold the system. It's not just the deputies that were involved in killing Jamal Sutherland, the two deputies, but the system failed Jamal. Jamal never had a criminal record. Jamal shouldn't have been incarcerated. North Charleston police failed him. The Palmetto place failed him. The Palmetto mental health facility failed him. The sheriff's department failed him. He was failed so many different times. And so bringing a Crump in is going to help with lifting up some of those missteps, if that makes any sense.
Body cam video, surveillance video, and yet cases where there are allegations, I will say, of excessive force, we still see them. Why?
Because implicit bias. You know, we cannot deny we have two justice systems in America. One for white America and then another for the rest of us.
So what will we see happen differently than we've seen in recent weeks? What do you intend to do?
You know, as my grandmother taught me when I was a little boy, you don't do things because of the result. You do things because it's the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do to stand up for Jamal Sutherland. It is the right thing to do to speak up for Jamal Sutherland. And it is the right thing to do to fight for Jamal Sutherland. We can't control what they gonna do, but we can control what we gonna do. And we are making the declaration that we're gonna fight for Jamal.
Mr. Crump, what is justice for Jamal? How do you see that?
You know, it's real simple. Justice for Jamal is the same exact thing as it would be justice for a young white man in the same situation. We don't ask for anything more, and we certainly won't stand for anything less.
Okay, I guess that's it. Just shout out to Carolyn Murray on it. I think Carolyn is really carving out her own space when it comes to covering law enforcement. I'm still trying to figure out how she's facilitating a lot of conversations, but she's receptive to more progressive voices as well. Like as she moderated that thing that me and Allie, what was that thing? Me and Allie watched. So I'm like traumatized. But like, you know, that panel discussion regarding law enforcement and the Scarlett was one of the panelists. Scarlett Wilson, solicitor Scarlett Wilson was one of the panelists. I'm still trying to understand Carolyn Murray. I think she's trying to just really like show as many sides as possible, being a part of or facilitating certain conversations around law enforcement. But it is good to see her at least ask these really critical questions like, what do you want? What does justice look like? I want to see if I wanted to kind of go to Live 5 News and get their coverage of it as well. I got you in the chat. Hold on, let me let's go. It's a lot of news. I'm trying to get through the news roundup, but it's a lot. Here we go. Let's watch Live 5's and I'll read the comments in the comment section. But let's see. I gotta hit mute.
Say no to short.
All right, so this is organizers hold rally for Jamal Sutherland in North Charleston. Is it muted?
No justice! No justice! No justice!
Tonight, more than 100 people gathered in North Charleston, joining the family of a Lowcountry man who died while in custody at the Al Cannon Detention Center. Jamal Sutherland died January 5th after deputies forcibly removed him from his cell so that he could attend a bond hearing. Well-known civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, who's representing the family of Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia and has also represented the families of Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and others, stood with the Sutherlands and demanded criminal charges be filed in the death of Jamal Sutherland. I spoke one-on-one with him and leaders from the National Action Network before tonight's rally.
Humanity would have stopped them. So that's enough.
At what point do you say this is reckless and we're not going to condone this action? Because if we can continue to condone it, you're going to see more dead, unarmed, innocent citizens.
Solicitor Scarlett Wilson said Sutherland's death should not have happened, but she could not bring criminal charges against the former deputies because she would not be able to prove criminal intent beyond a reasonable doubt. Solicitor Wilson responded to today's request for charges regarding the Jamal Sutherland death investigation.
This is a statement that Stephen was referencing. I'm going to try to pull up. I think there was a written component that he sent. It might be verbatim the same thing. Let me try to download it. It might be for verbatim the same thing, but let's hear it.
Statement, she says in part, quote, "I understand the frustration that some may have with my decision. I will not stand in the way of a review by the South Carolina Attorney General or the United States Department of Justice. While I stand by my decision, I welcome the review of other prosecutors, especially those with different statutory options," end quote.
So that's what Stephen was referencing when he said that she mentioned she didn't have any options. She definitely had some options that she just didn't want to pursue. Let me just read the statement. I'm not going to pull it up. Let me see. Let me just read what she released. It was like a press release or news advisory. It says, on July 26, 2021, I released a comprehensive report that explained my rationale for declining to prosecute the Charleston County Sheriff's deputies involved in Jamal Sutherland's death. The report can be found. She included a hyperlink, a very long hyperlink in a written advisory. All right. I understand the frustration that some may have with my decision. I will not stand in the way, as Raphael just mentioned. I will not stand in the way of a review by the South Carolina Attorney General or the United States Department of Justice. In fact, I invited. Wow, she feeling cocky right here. In fact, I invited the Department of Justice to investigate this matter in April this year. I provided my report to the public at large, the Department of Justice, and to our Attorney General. While I stand by my decision, I welcome any review. She kind of cocky right there. She might know something that we don't. I don't know. Legal minds would have to tell me. But that last part, be careful what you wish for. And also too, she again trying to act as if she had no option, she had no choice. It's a classic go-to move. Because also, too, what she's sidestepping is she wants us to get hung up on the charges of these two specific deputies, which warrant our attention. But what's not happening is a conversation about the system and its many failures, that someone should be held accountable for this man's death. He had no criminal record. He was in mental health distress. He was at a mental health facility. And so there are so many failures that contributed to Jamal Sutherland's death. And that's sad that she couldn't, but that's what she does. And that's what she did when she threw the opening arguments, right? I think this is just more follow-up.
In detention center, I think this is calling once again.
This is more follow-up. Let me see. No one had the B-roll of like the crowd. Raphael referenced 100 people showed up, but I didn't see anything in the crowd there. Let's just look at them.
The family of an inmate who died while at the Al-Qaeda Detention Center is calling once again for criminal charges to be filed against two Charleston County Sheriff's deputies.
News 2's Lexi Moore was there as they called for justice for Jamal and heard from the family as they were joined by nationally recognized civil rights attorney Ben Crump.
The Sutherland family has a new ally in their fight. Nationally known civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who's been involved in cases like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, is taking over Jamal Sutherland's case.
Can I say something? Y'all are so cute in the chat. First of all, I love that y'all support me. Y'all believe in me. I really do. Looking at Ikea and Allie, I love y'all. But there's a reason why like seriously, there's a reason why Reverend Nelson Rivers didn't call me about yesterday's event, right? There's a reason why I'm not involved in these things, and I'm not going to impugn. I have great affection for Reverend Nelson Rivers, but male leadership in this area is very does not really. Right? They don't really mess with me like that. They've never supported anything I've done on the ground. They've never, while they out there giving Meryl Chapman awards for being a white woman, a lot of the work that I did on the ground was summarily ignored. So I appreciate y'all, but I'm trying to do something a little different. I don't need followers like that. I want to build community, but I love y'all. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but there's a reason why I'm choosing to now just cover it this way, cover it, because I've done the organizer thing here. It's a lot, and most organizing circles that I join, there's this natural thing that occurs where, Mika, you write this for him. Mika, you do this for him. Mika, call him, and and no shade to the hymns, but I'm a leader. Like I'm a leader. They should be writing things for me. We should be writing things together. You know what I mean? I'm 40 years old. What I look like writing for somebody? Get the fuck out of here. So there's a reason why, and I kind of voiced that in one of my last joint discussions, and I think that's why Reverend Nelson might not mess with me no more. I'm I don't do dictation, and I'm not writing for him. So I like how I'm doing it here. And if I need to talk to, I ain't trying to flex, but if I need to talk to Crump, I know who to call. I got, and it ain't nobody in Charleston. You know what I'm saying? If I need to talk to Crump, I know who to call. I don't really want that.
The family now,
years of being denied, I don't want it. I'm sorry to make it about me.
Hopes they can get the justice they deserve for their son's death.
I'm assuming BLM was invited. Because BLM posted the flyer. I got the flyer through somebody who's not critical. I got the flyer through somebody who has some questions. But yeah, I was not sent it directly. I'm sure all the male men were given the flyers. I'm sure all the men, young men and older men, were given the flyer and urged to attend, for sure.
Jamal Sutherland died earlier this year after being tased while in custody of the Charleston County Sheriff's Office. Sutherland was suffering from mental health crisis when he was admitted to the jail and was tased and pepper sprayed repeatedly, dying shortly after. Attorney Ben Crump says despite the family settling a suit for $10 million, they want justice served for those deputies involved.
Okay, do y'all see this? This is why I don't come to this shit. I see shout out Tiffany James in the back. This is why I don't come to shit. Y'all see this? Come on, let's play Dora again. Yeah, what do y'all see in the picture? Who don't belong in the picture? I'm gonna wait because I know there's a lag. Yeah. What the fuck is he doing there? Well, he can go to anything he want to go to, but this is literally a op. I'm not going, and that's the other thing. I'm not going with Black MAGA is comfortable. I'm not going, and shout, I think that's Nashawn in the back too. I'm not going with Black MAGA is comfortable. And maybe that's unavoidable. I don't know if he was able to make his way to the mic. But no, this dude is literally supporting policies that he literally supported Scarlett Wilson. How the hell you there when you endorse Scarlett Wilson? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why is Black MAGA there? You endorse Al Cannon. You endorse Scarlett Wilson. Why are you there? And why nobody challenged this fool here? I just don't understand that.
$1 million. They want justice served for those deputies involved.
Like 100 people.
When will state officials charge the police for killing a black person in the state of South Carolina? When? I want the whole America.
This room should have been packed. This shit should have been planned out. I don't know if there was 2 weeks. Tiffany didn't hit me up. No shade. Tiffany didn't hit me up. I ain't hear nothing about this before. And I don't know. Maybe there was 100 people in there. And it's not about attendance, but this should have been a little bit bigger than this. But you got, yeah.
To help me with this dream, I want justice
I wouldn't doubt it, D.
Ninth Circuit Solicitor Scarlett
I wouldn't doubt it if Jerome was there.
Wilson released a statement regarding Jamal Sutherland's case saying, quote, I understand the frustration that some may have with my decision. I will not stand in the way of the review by the South Carolina Attorney General or the United States Department of Justice. And she says she welcomes the review of other prosecutors. The family is wanting to appoint a special prosecutor in the case, but they have not heard back from the Attorney General. Reporting in North Charleston, I'm Lexi Moore, Count on 2.
Yeah, Kia, it don't make no sense. He full MAGA. He full Stephen Bannon. He full Donald Trump's.
Oh, we do. Good morning.
My bad. He's full on Donald Trump's policies are great. And,
The family of
and you know, this is something that happens very basically. What I see years of the Democratic Party taking black men for granted and really like pandering to black women, even though black women are the organizers, they're the poll workers, they're the people that's mobilizing their communities to the polls in unofficial ways and official ways through the church or just as neighbors and you know, citizens and community members. Black women have always been the backbone of the Democratic Party. They've always been that, especially in the Black Belt. But the Democratic Party has taken black men for granted, right? And they do all this pandering to us that don't always translate. We didn't even get a Supreme Court nomination. Bill Clinton, Obama, 8 years of Obama. No black woman was like, no black woman. You couldn't find out one black woman legal mind. Trump found all the bottom feeders of the right and put them up there. A woman that never even tried certain cases in court is on the damn Supreme Court. But black men, you know, so what I see though is that black men see that, get frustrated, but they go to, you know, when you jilted, you're kind of vulnerable, and so they try to rebound with the RNC. And the RNC treats them like the belle of the ball. The RNC is giving them VIP passes to go see Steve Bannon at the Citadel. The RNC is getting them connections and some comm support and all that other stuff. And the RNC or RNC adjacent people like Al Cannon, you know, oh, come join my campaign. Your salary will be X amount a month. And, you know, so there's jobs and other types of deals being struck, right? And that makes them feel special and valued. I do believe people like Shakim are opportunists. I don't believe he has any specific political ideology. I think his ideology is himself in the bag. Because how else could you ever like hold your head up in public after being MAGA, right? After supporting oppressive, after being not just MAGA, but after being photographed and attending events supported and orchestrated by insurrectionists. Shakim was front and center at that event with Tyler Bessinger and Corey Allen when they brought in that other hate monger to train people to run for races. He was just at that event, but yet he's comfortable to go into and no one challenges Shakim's presence. He should be embarrassed to show up there. He should have somebody should just put a hand on his chest like, bruh, this ain't for you. This ain't the place for you. You know, your presence is not wanted here. You know what I mean? But a lot of the bagmen are allowed to come and go. Jerome Hayward, no shade, but Jerome Hayward's another one. You know, I know he's black, but his politics are very conservative, and he supported a lot of problematic people. And you know that needs to change. I don't know if he was there January 6th, but he was with Corey and Tyler, who are the insurrectionists. I don't know if I said that wrong. He's not black. Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon is I wish he would be kind of. Steve Bannon is the least smart in his bullshit. All right, let's go to this Alex Murdaugh bullshit. This is crazy. Yeah, let's just go here.
Alex Murdaugh denied bond after appearing in court in Richland County. Really a surprise ruling from the judge to deny bond. This is Katie Augustine breaking down that decision and telling us what could be next for the embattled attorney.
They gonna keep his ass in jail this time?
But first, News 2's Riley Benson joins us live from Richland County. Riley, you were there in court as that decision came down.
Yeah, Brendan, it was a packed courtroom this morning. We heard testimony from several attorneys. Now, attorneys representing the estate of Gloria Satterfield calling it a very sad day, while those representing Alec Murdaugh seem to be shocked with the judge's decision to deny his bond. Now, state prosecutors asked for a $200,000 bond with restrictions, while Murdaugh's defense was hoping for one much lower. At one point, attorneys for the estate of Gloria Satterfield asked for Murdaugh's bond to be set at $4.3 million. That's the amount Murdaugh is accused of taking from the death settlement of Gloria Satterfield and her family. Now, we heard from both sides immediately following this morning's hearing. Those representing the Satterfield say today's ruling is a good first step to holding Murdaugh accountable, while Murdaugh's defense says Murdaugh was a defendant and that others should be looked at for responsibility in the missing settlement funds from Gloria Satterfield's death settlement.
A great day for the Satterfields. It's been a long time coming that they got a taste of justice. You know, the road is still long ahead.
Hold on. Let me, I'm just going to turn off the closed caption. So, this is what, no, I'm dismissed. Let's see. So, Ronnie Richter?
I think the court really understood the weight of the moment. That if this was
Joni, that's what I said too. That's what I was thinking too. Like Richland County ain't gonna be playing with him like the Low Country can be playing with him. Sit your ass down for a minute.
So much bigger than just the Satterfields.
He needs to get treated for his addiction so that he can focus clear-headed on how to resolve it.
Since y'all locking up addicted people, poor addicted people, poor addicted or mentally ill people, y'all lock them up every day and throw away the key. Or people who have outstanding debt. Shout out Akua for what she's trying to lift up. With her mom in that situation, the debtor's prison. So y'all lock people up all the time who can't afford a Harpootlian, his name. All right. I'm really also concerned about an elected official representing this man. A Democrat at that, a dino, but still.
Any issues he might have.
Now, with Alec Murdaugh remaining in jail, at least for the time being, News 2's Katie Augustine spoke with two South Carolina attorneys. Many are wondering what could come next for the embattled attorney. Katie, talk to us about what some of the next legal steps could look like for Alec Murdaugh.
Oh, they said she was going to talk next and then. Okay. Let me see if I had the next part of that story. Denied bail. I guess what I can do is, I think we just played that one. And then I think, is this the continuation? Let's just play this last bit. And then
County. We have News 2's Riley Benson, who has covered the story of Alec Murdaugh and the entire Murdaugh family since these crimes first started happening back at the beginning of the summer.
Actually, no. We're going to stop it there. Enough Alex Murdaugh. Let's hop over to the news, the front page of the newspaper. I did reach out to, I did try. She didn't respond, but I get it. I did try to bring in a reporter who covered the Crump event. Hopefully we can do some of that later on. I know some reporters might have to get clearance or something like that. But let's hop into the local newspaper. I wanted to, definitely gonna talk about this real quick. Marjorie Taylor Greene endorsed Congressman Rice, which is interesting because I know Rice didn't he vote to impeach? Yes, he did. But we're gonna go to the front page of today's Post and Courier, and the front page of the state newspaper real quick, and we're gonna end our news roundup and get to Hoodoo. Get to the Hoodoo heritage. All right, front page of Post and Courier today. The murderer to remain in jail in alleged scam. Avery Brooks is on it, so it's a good story. We already watched the coverage. The bottom, you got state gets federal warning on health workers rule. So y'all been seeing that. That's been national news. The mandate and how certain things for federal workers and whatnot, or state workers, that's getting a little tricky. I will say that, this is Post and Courier being Post and Courier. They did not put the Crump effort on the front page. It's on page 5, I believe. 3 or 5, but they did not put the Crump story on the front page. They're more interested in the police horses that are coming back. They really want to evoke images of old slave patrols with these police on horses. It's gonna just be reminiscent of old timey OG slave patrols. But go ahead and do your thing, as if we need more horses on the streets in this heat, in this modern era. All right, here we got this story right here is one to watch though. Director of DJJ still has a long way to go. Acting chief reports on staffing crisis as agency seeks reform. So that's the director of juvenile justice. I might hit up Zakia and ask her if she wants to come on and talk about her work. I might ask her from Sowing Seeds in the Midlands, Zakia. I might ask her if she wants to call in and do that. So that's the front page of Post and Courier. I'm gonna close that out, and then here's the state newspaper here. So front page: Lexington 2 school board members face state ethics charges. Whoa. And then of course you got Murdaugh on the front page. A South Carolina judge denies Murdaugh bond in Satterfield case. It's all right. And over here, civil rights lawyer. Shout out to Caitlin Bird. This is who I tried to invite on. Maybe Caitlin would like to call in and just basically outline what she covered. Maybe some things that didn't make it into the column. Civil rights lawyer seeks charges in the Sutherland South Carolina jail. Shout out to the state for putting this on the front page. It's a front page story. You have a national civil rights attorney coming to Charleston to lift up this case. It warrants this type of placement in a paper. Okay, so yeah, Murdaugh, Lexington 2, and the civil rights, the Crump visit on the front page of the state newspaper. All right, so let's go. I'm gonna close it out and let's get to Hoodoo. Okay. Yeah, shout out to Jared. I'm gonna do this real quick. I guess I'm gonna leave that like that. So I wanted to get to, so this month, October, is Hoodoo Heritage month. I'm not gonna watch that. And so I wanted to just acquaint people with it. I wanted to kind of learn with y'all, talk with y'all. Let me see if y'all said anything. Those horses look so gross. They will look even grosser. They will look even more gross with cops on them, for sure. Yeah. You think that horses scare us from downtown? It just looks like slave patrols. All right. So yeah, Hoodoo is Hoodoo Heritage Month. And I've been really fascinated because if you're on Instagram like I am, or TikTok, especially TikTok, spiritual TikTok, Hoodoo TikTok is real. It's fun. It's really a lot of fun. But there's a lot of Gullah Geechee connection within this practice. And so I wanted to lift up some content that talks about Hoodoo and talks about Black women's relationship with Hoodoo. So let's watch this. This right here. I think it's a year old. Yep, this is a year old from the Huffington Post. Oh, and if you're Christian, don't get scared. Don't get scared. I know my mom says that spirits can jump through screens. Sorry. She used to say that when I was little. I was like, because she didn't want us watching bad TV and stuff like that. Stuff that was inappropriate for her age. But a lot of it was steeped in her Christianity, her Christian beliefs. But this is how I used to get away with watching The Simpsons. She thought The Simpsons was just a cartoon. I'm like, it's not. This is so not. It wasn't appropriate for me to watch The Simpsons the way I was watching it. But if you're Christian, don't get scared. This is spirituality. Denise.
One of the biggest misconceptions is that voodoo is evil, that we worship the devil. There's no devil or evil in voodoo. Voodoo just is. There's no black and white magic in voodoo either. They'll believe that voodoo is evil and voodoo is dark comes from the fact that voodoo is black.
Anti-blackness. That's why they had us serving a white Jesus. My Jesus got dreadlocks though. Yeah, little mama.
My family and I, we are from the Dominican Republic. Voodoo, it was just always part of my family. That's the thing with voodoo. If it's in your family and it hasn't been so far removed through generations, it'll still show up in some shape or form. Voodoo comes from West Africa. My lineage of voodoo is Haitian voodoo. It's a voodoo that was brought from Africa to the island of Haiti, and it became its own thing. Voodoo is family. Voodoo is roots. Voodoo is food, it's music. Voodoo is prayer, it's song, dance. Voodoo is worship, it's nature, it's knowing that everything around you is connected to you. In voodoo, we call the priestess a mambo and the priest a wongan. So a voodoo priestess is chosen by her family to take on that prestigious role. I didn't have any plans to turn my spiritual practice into a business. It was such a private thing for me. My husband and I do spiritual consultations, and the spiritual consultations are very different than any kind of reading, divination that you've ever done, because you're directly speaking to a spirit. The spirit comes, the spirit gets on the steering wheel, and we are on the passenger seat, and they're the ones just spilling all the beans. You came here asking for a man, asking about a man, when your actual problem is this, and this is what you need to be focused on. But what about the man? F the man. This is your problem. You need to fix this, or else nothing matters. Oh, when I get messages from clients, just saying thank you for the work. It doesn't matter whether it was, I haven't been able to get a job in 2 years and your job candle got me a job, or I've been working on this project for so long and I haven't been able to get it off the ground. And
I wonder if she got a Twitch candle. I need to burn a Twitch candle. It's like, no, your problem is this. Your attitude, Tamika. You don't have Twitch followers because
your success candle helped me with that. Every day I'm fulfilled and rewarded whenever I hear that someone benefited from my work.
I like the craft too.
A lot of times when I tell people that I'm a mambo, they're like, oh wow, really? What is that like? It's hard to put it into simple words. Or usually people are like, is that like being a witch? No. Voodoo is not witchcraft because voodoo is voodoo. Voodoo is African. Voodoo is ancestral. And for witchcraft, especially nowadays, ancestors is not something that's necessary. Hoodoo's ancestor is voodoo. The Africans that were brought to the U.S. through the South, who were enslaved, they took from voodoo what they could, and then they mixed with what was already here, which is Native American traditions and a little bit of European traditions, and that's what Hoodoo became. The biggest misconceptions of voodoo is that voodoo is evil, that we worship the devil. There's no devil in voodoo. We don't know that. We don't know that guy. That guy does not exist in our court of spirits. No, voodoo is just like everything else when it comes to spirituality. You have your light and you have your dark. That the devil and demons don't come from Black culture. They come from European culture. So it's quite the opposite.
My mom would kill me. First of all, okay, so yesterday before I went live, and this is controversial because it's Native American, but I did burn some sage, and I broke out my own homemade Florida water, and just kind of like centered myself because it was like the rigid radical. I didn't want my live stream to be steeped in like anger, so I was trying to get my mind right before I hopped on. And just really kind of meditate on what I wanted to communicate, especially if Kanae was going to be, a guest. But, my mom would like trip. I got candles in here right now with African gods' face or African spirits' faces on things. But, my mom, don't tell her. Tell her I just have Glade candles. That's it.
It's important for me to continue spreading light and truth about voodoo, hoodoo, and anything that has to do with African traditions. Anything that comes from, I call it the grandmotherland because my motherland is Haiti. It's important to me that people are educated, and I'm taking a big responsibility being so vocal about it, but I don't want to be the only one. And I do want people who are strong in these traditions to feel comfortable enough to step forward and educate and work on removing the misconceptions and removing the misinformation and removing the taboos and the ugly that has been attached to anything Black for so many generations.
I love that she's Dominicana, and yet she didn't divorce herself from her Blackness, and she acknowledged that, Dominican Republic, like people think that Dominican Republic is like so far away from Haiti, in the same island, on the other side. And it's so important for, people to understand the political complexities, the anti-Blackness that has created that division between Haiti and Dominican Republic, and also Dominican Republic and Africa. We did just so much to examine. I love the fact that she leans into that, for sure. There was another video I wanted to watch regarding like Black women in witchcraft right here. But you know what? Y'all dropped in it. Let me do a little awkward segue. Y'all dropped in the chat the craft Hoodoo Glade. No, and it's the kid is so funny. Your mom called it a silly white girl. That sounds so much like my family. And it's not. It's Black as hell. It's very, very Black. It's extraordinarily Black. Let's watch let's bring it back local. So we just got a better understanding. I think that was one of the best videos on hoodoo and voodoo, right? I think that was one of the best ways to like articulate what it is, and one of the better spokespeople that I found, like that have video, some sort of nice package together. But I used this last year. I think it was last year. The year before last. Or whenever. I wasn't living in this apartment, but I did a Halloween podcast episode where I lifted up Gullah Root Magic, right? And so I know I said Hoodoo Heritage Month, but because it's Hoodoo Heritage Month, I think we should talk about Gullah Root Magic. And like Kia and anyone else, Joni who's watching, or whomever, Denise, whomever. So I referenced that my parents, there was some fights growing up. Some of the fights growing up. Oh God, I love y'all. I love you, mommy, daddy. But there were things that my aunts from Wadmalaw, I believe, I cannot remember the details, but there were things that my aunts from Wadmalaw would send my dad to help him. And I remember my mom not being raised with that Gullah Root Magic, was really like scared of it, like afraid of it. And thought that, you just trying to cast spells on me and all this other stuff. And then, so I remember that was my first like entree into like, what is this Gullah Root Magic? What is this? And then when I moved down for high school, and my best friend used to live in Ponderosa over here, and his family from Red Top, and they from Red Top, his family just like, I would just ear hustle like at dinners or whatever whenever I was at the family compound. And you just hear this story about like how one of the aunts buried their lover's drawers, like a piece of their underwear, the guy's underwear, in the yard to prevent him, because he was a philanderer, to prevent the partner from like ever having an erection. I heard about grounding up bricks or something like that and putting it at the door. All kinds of stuff. It's really everlasting tea. Yep. Life everlasting. Yep. This stuff, I don't know what yeah. There was some stuff that was, anyway, it was very, very foreign to my mother. And then, my dad doesn't talk about it at all. And I always asked him about the one thing I noticed when I came to high school in the 90s. I'm like, why some of the matriarchs in my family, on my dad's side, of course, they were referred to as Haggy or Hag. And and that's steeped in Gullah Root Magic. And so like, I just started like being really curious. And one of the ways that I really got into, of course, was again through Eden Royce, her adult work. Y'all, adults, because there's some stuff in here, okay? This Spook Lights 1 and 2. If you want a good read, please. But yeah, this story right here, There's a story in Spook Lights, the first one, called Hag Ride. Ooh wee! I might read a little bit from it. I don't know, but Hag Ride, it's real. Like it goes there. It goes there. Kia, you would like Hag Ride. It's all about like, I need a spell for my man. It gets. I was reading it like in the back of I was on a car ride one time, and I was just like, oh my god. Hag Ride is good. Yeah, and yeah, Root Magic. Got Root Magic, but I wanted to keep it separate because I know like this is young adult. This is the kiddies. These are twins from Wamala. Me and my brother. Psych, it's not, but these twins from Wamala. This book, this is. I have not finished it. I ain't gonna lie, I feel bad. I gotta finish this, but I think Root Magic is awesome. Please support it. If you got some young adult readers, if you like young adult fiction like I do, go ahead and read Root Magic. Put that right here. All right, but let's Gullah Root Magic is like my way of understanding more about hoodoo. So let me play. So this trailer is from 2019. Shout out to Jason Gordine from Black Collective. I don't know. I was waiting for this to be a full length movie. Y'all know he wrote. He did VC's Resistance. He did this
Black
one.
Collective original short film. Now available on Amazon Prime. This festival
It's not on there no more.
Wanting for more. Stream it today.
It's not on there no more. I tried to look this morning.
Your content. VC's Resistance. Available today.
I love this. So basically, this is called Hank, the Gullah Revenge Thriller. Y'all gonna see some familiar faces.
Number 6.
I love this.
Take it from the previous question about the Gullah cuisine, and then we'll move to the sweetgrass basket.
Maybe it just needs to be a trailer.
The curse has returned to the land of his ancestors.
Yo! Welcome to the Holy City, my friend.
Hey, what's good, man? Upcoming city vibes.
Poor fool.
Up and coming.
Too far gone to even know. Spend too much time running. Chasing them buckras, trying to fit in. Taking part in our removal.
I don't know what Jason's working on, but I really hope that he can kind of come back to this project and make it, either revisited or I don't know if he got the whole thing filmed. I would love to see this, where he's taking this, because it's like a commentary on gentrification, on white wealth, and it's a perfect combination. Look at Erica.
So what is it that you do?
I'm a developer.
That's Erica. Yeah, that's Erica.
Our dads came up in the game and passed it down to us.
Well, that explains a lot.
What exactly does that explain?
Gonna have to reckon with them spirits. Atone for the sins of your fathers.
Outrageous fees were being charged for city sewage.
Yep.
Arresting kids for selling palmetto roses without a permit. The ancestors will only take so much.
Ain't gonna be much sleep for you, baby. At least not till the last good night.
This is Jason Gordine's. It was a trailer called Gullah Revenge Thriller in 2019. You can see at the top there. He never released a full project, but yeah. I know, right? It's a cliffhanger though, cause like nothing, like not cliffhanger like in a bad way, but damn, he doesn't finish the project. Not to my knowledge, but I think this should have been like. He did great. This is great. Like, he needs to send this to somebody, and they need to make it a full-on project. Get some funding.
You look lost. He's not lost. He's right where he needs to be.
No, this YouTube. It's not.
Come here.
It's just a trailer.
I want to ask you something.
Be nice, Jenny.
Go to bed,
D. leave that girl alone.
Who's yours? I want to show you something.
Miss Ruby, what are you talking about? If you see the curse, warn him. Don't let the hag ride you.
She said don't. Y'all know that stage of sleep when you like paralyzed. Y'all know that stage of sleep when you got that paralysis. You ever like have a dream when you can't move, right? That's the hag riding y'all. This need to be a movie. Don't let the hag ride you. Yo, he said coming soon, bruh. It's 2021. I just think that's an amazing trailer, and it really, again, Gullah Root Magic, Hoodoo, it helps you understand some of these spiritual customs. So from Eden Royce's adult, this is a book for adults. This is not. Don't buy this for your children, please don't. But there's a story called Hag Ride. Let me just read a little bit from the beginning. It says Frida. Well, no. I will go back to my interview with Eden Royce because I was so excited about Spook Lights, and I feel
written by men.
I'm proud of the book club, y'all. I'm proud of it. I wasn't happy with like how the drop off in interest dropped off significantly, especially given how much effort went into making sure it was accessible and whatnot. But Eden here I kind of feel like I felt bad about I kind of combined Root Magic. She was trying to promote Root Magic, and I was just like, I don't want to talk about all the adult books. But I think it worked out fine. Let's go back.
Of course, there's a fraternal twins on the cover, and I'm a fraternal twin, and my daddy from Wamala. Wow. Yeah, my daddy's from Wamala, so it's on Wamala. So I'm just excited to read it. Like, oh, okay. But I wanted to really dive into perhaps. I think a lot of folks have reached out to me about like some of the themes or the stories you picked. And one of the stories for an adult audience. I know you said you wanted. Maybe we start on Spook Lights first. The first story that just jumps out, and Akua kind of talked about the hag, and I ain't gonna get to it. We don't have to get into the particulars. But when it comes to writing a story like Hag Ride, it felt like it was a woman's perspective. It just felt so familiar, like it was either my aunt or my older cousin.
Kia,
can you just tell us like what went into maybe that story or a story similar to that?
Well, the majority of my stories, I do write from a woman's perspective. I think that especially with speculative literature, which is sci-fi, fantasy, horror, we're still struggling to get protagonists and main characters.
My voice sounds different. I got better microphone and I got braces. So when I listen back, Allie, when I listen back to content from just even like 6 months ago before I got braces or something, I sound different. But I'm also literally using that mic from the iPhone headphones. So sounds different too. I'm like, really, it's not great.
To be women, they're still majorly written by men.
And I was fanning out.
And sometimes writing from a female perspective isn't as clear and doesn't ring as true when you don't have people that have that lived experience when you're writing. So you'll see that a lot of the stories in Spooklights and in Spooklights 2 are written from a woman's perspective. And I think that there's a way of conveying certain deep-seated emotion, especially when you're looking at some of the ritual in Hag Ride, where it's a woman who's at the end of her rope with her relationship, who is completely in love with someone who isn't returning her affection, and she decides that she's going to take the step of calling the hag to ride him in hopes that that will make him more of the man that she wants him to be.
So I like that she kind of takes some kind of creative licenses with some of the spiritual customs. So in the story Hag Ride, like she says, the woman in the book, she has an unfaithful partner. So she goes to, I think it's like a family member, like an auntie or something. And she's like, I just need you to do the spell, Big Mama. She goes to Big Mama. Yep, free to park. It says, free to park the aging Chevy at the edge of the dirt road leading to the marsh. She sat in the driver's seat with the window rolled down and breathed in the sulfurous scent of pluff mud and seagrass. Right? Although the marsh teemed with life, loneliness pressed into her like an unwelcome suitor in the dark. So she walks up to Big Mama's house and she starts collecting some of the raw materials outside in the marsh for this spell to summon the hag, to have the hag ride her unfaithful partner, as Eden Royce was explaining.
And logically, we know that won't happen.
And it doesn't happen. It doesn't turn out the way she wants.
But sometimes when we're pushed to such desperation and we think that we need just that one thing and it will make everything all right, we're willing to do things that we wouldn't ordinarily do if we were in our right minds.
Yeah. And I think, again, wanted to tie it to like how Black women are kind of making their way back to hoodoo or connecting with hoodoo. I won't just say just desperation, but maybe like Kia, like me, I've gone into spiritual shops and whatnot and tried to just when things aren't going right and try to just really understand what it is that's going on in my life. And I've connected with hoodoo and Gullah Root Magic. So this is just, I just want to read the headline of this article here from Wear Your Voice. I reconnected to my Blackness through hoodoo. Learning about hoodoo has taught me that Black people live normal lives, and that has allowed me to connect with my ancestors in a way that all of the extraordinary stories of Blackness did not. Right. And I think that's dope. And I wanted to, I think I downloaded it this morning, because I was gonna make a part of like the thumbnail that I didn't create. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here's some pictures of the hag. Here's a picture of the hag. This is really gnarly. Let me see another one. I saw this on Pinterest this morning. Don't let the hag ride you. See the hag on top of this poor unfortunate fella. Don't let the hag ride you, right? And then the last graphic, Gullah Root Magic. Let's see. And then this one I found too. So it says, do you wake feeling drained of energy, short of breath, confused by dreams? So they're saying that the hag rode you when that happens, when you wake up tired and out of breath. You can see these spooky illustrations. Jesus. That hag is ooh. So in the book, in the story, the short story Hag Ride, because Spook Lights 1 and 2 are compilations of short stories. In that book, or in that story, the hag it does some gruesome stuff. I ain't gonna say nothing else. It's just real crazy. It's real. She want her man to be faithful, but the end result is something different. It's definitely a turn. I wanted to also go back to Dr. Buzzard. So that was a way for me to understand Gullah Root Magic more, was understanding Dr. Buzzard. Now, there's been a bunch of Dr. Buzzards, I think, in history. There was one man that claimed to be Dr. Buzzard that was on David Letterman and all that. But Island Packet, oddly enough, Island Packet did a story on... did a couple stories on Dr. Buzzard. Here's one. Packet Gazette, Island Packet. Oh, Beaufort Gazette, they teamed up. Packet Gazette, I got it. This is a few years old.
To the best of my knowledge, this would be the grave of a gentleman from St. Helena Island, born and raised and lived his whole life here. Stephen Robinson, went by Stepney Robinson, but to more people around the nation and the world, he was known as Dr. Buzzard.
So you see right there, born 1860. Damn, we lived that long? Died 1947. Dr. Buzzard.
He was a root doctor, and people were supposed to have come to him from all over the nation. The scene is something that a lot of people have sought, have tried to find, and you can see that somehow a lot of the dirt at the tomb has disappeared, and that the people take that for its special properties, supposedly. You can also see that it's a very fine tombstone. There are other nice ones here in this cemetery, but it's much larger.
So many black
grander,
cemeteries look like that.
which is an indicator, if this is the one, that he did make a lot of money. He did not take checks or money orders. He's dealt in cash only, and the legend is that he made quite a bit of money. But it's a place that a lot of people seek, a lot of people want to know about.
So people go.
And his legend, and of course the name Buzzard was used apparently by others, but
Yeah, by a lot of others. And like apparently people go get the dirt from his grave, and I guess use it for certain spiritual purposes, which is really gnarly. Ooh, get dirt from the grave of Dr. Buzzard. Ooh. So here's another story. That volume was a little low, but let's see if this is a little bit better.
Way down, way down. How could you not believe in it? It's not Santa Claus, you know.
No, it ain't.
This is some of the real things that you see happen. My father is county coroner. He was county coroner for 36 years. But once in a while, he would run into a case where somebody had died from bad root. He couldn't put that on the death certificate.
Yes,
people think he's crazy. So he had a code that he wrote on the death certificate that everybody understood. The sheriff, the district attorney, the undertaker, everybody. Dead of undetermined natural causes. And that meant somebody had been rooted to death. And this is the way I grew up, fascinated with it from the time
I thought about it, Allie.
Basically.
I'm thinking about it, actually.
This is a protection. And that was made for me by Miss Angel, my root doctor. I have on retainer. Some people have attorneys on retainer.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that also caused some friction in my house. It's like my dad was carrying something in his wallet, and my mom thought it was like a curse against her or some stuff. So you saw he had that little. He said he keeps a root doctor on retainer. But Kia, you need to look into that, Kia. Get you a root doctor and put him on retainer.
The way I grew up, fascinated with it from the time I was knee-high, basically. This is a High John.
High John.
This is a protection, and that was made for me by Miss Angel, my root doctor. I have on retainer. Some people have attorneys on retainer, you know. I've got a root doctor.
I don't know. But when you look at a lot of like the Christianity here, especially here in Charleston, when I came from, like, I was always in the Baptist church. I was raised in the church since I was little. But when I came down here, you hear the African influences in the church and the spirit. So I know a lot of people are scared by Gullah Root Magic, I guess, if they're not from here, but it's not demonic, and it's so intrinsically linked to, you know, Christian practices here, that it should, I think people, that's why people from here are not as put off by it as like my mom was, growing up, just really afraid of it. And perhaps it was something she saw, right? Right, maybe it's that. But let's get to this real quick. This is me and Kia right here. This is me and Kia.
I honestly believe Jesus was one of the most toxic relationships I've ever had in the entirety of my life.
You shouldn't
This is why some black women are turning to witchcraft.
keep your magic in the dark. Like, this is your soul. You need to share it to the world.
Let it rain on me now. So be it.
What shop? Wait, Joy, good morning. What shop? Leaving Jesus.
I was a super Christian. I was raised in the church. I was a worship leader. I'm like singing all over the place and touring over here and crying out to God. How many times have I prayed to Jesus to show up for things that were actually needed, and he didn't show up?
Melissa Whetstone grew up as a preacher's kid, but 12 years ago, she left the church. She says the community felt toxic, and she didn't feel a personal connection to Jesus.
Hi, how are you? I need the frankincense and myrrh I see is here.
Yeah, which shop,
She eventually discovered Lukumi, a religion that was brought to Cuba by enslaved West Africans.
It's just a beautiful thing to be a part of. It's a beautiful community spirit. You're learning and growing with other people, so I really love it.
Black folks have left the church in higher numbers over the last decade than ever before, and younger generations are even less likely to affiliate with the church. But many young people are still seeking spirituality, and some are reviving traditions from Africa and the Caribbean through practices that connect them with their ancestors.
This is my boveda, or my altar. A few glasses of water. And that's just for my specific ancestors who watch and look over me. I have liquor that my uncle likes, you know. Gotta make sure he still get lit on the other side. I feel.
Yeah, like I haven't done it in this space, but created an altar for your ancestors or whatnot. I know I have gone out during certain moon cycles. I've gone out to the water and I've communed with the ancestors. I've offered some offerings. I've done all of that. Like in the way, but the altar that she set up, I've dated guys with like similar altars, a picture of an ancestor, something that they enjoyed, a sweet, something indulgent, maybe a pipe or some tobacco or whatever they like to enjoy as well. Candy, fruit. You know, it's amazing. I love seeing altars like in Black people's homes, because growing up, all of my Hispanic friends or my Catholic friends, they would have like kind of like altars or a place like a candle, prayer candle, and an ancestor or someone who's passed on. But I love seeing it more and more. Up north, you see it more readily. Like here, you know, you probably like me, you find the shops. You know, you're comfortable with shopping in these places. But African Roots or Gullah Roots down here was open in North Charleston. I don't think they're open anymore. I know that when they moved out of their North Charleston spot over there by Checkers, they moved into the Destiny Cafe, but I don't know. I think they closed down. I don't know. But Gullah Magic? Gullah Roots? What was that store? I've been in there. I would get my Florida water from there initially and some other stuff there too. But they didn't have the offerings that like you really would see in some of like the New York boutiques, all the candles and all like it's hard to find shops like that around here. Might be in Florida, maybe in Georgia, but I haven't found one here with all of that supply there.
I talk to them, I spend time with them. Like, this is my place to be.
So can you talk about some of the differences in what you study now to what your relationship was with Christianity then? What are you getting out of Lukumi that you didn't find in the
I get answers to my prayers. That I tell people that all the time. Like when they're like, "What's the difference?" I'm like, "Because my prayers are answered." Like, that's one. When I come to my altar and I pray to my ancestors and I actually take my time to cry out, not only do I get responses, I get physical manifestations and answers.
You were born into a household where your dad was a pastor?
Yes.
How is that relationship with him now, and how did your family react?
I'm the black sheep of my family.
Okay,
I
Denise.
love my family to death. They love me, but we don't see eye to eye. They're like, girl, you going to hell, you gonna burn. And I'm like, if I was gonna burn, I'm pretty sure we will be burning together.
Ironically, it is often because of that kind of religious conservatism that people move out.
Dr. Yvonne Chereau studies African and indigenous religions.
A lot of these religions came to the United States after the Middle Passage, after the period of slavery. Like other immigrants, they bring their cultures and their religions. But because when they come to the United States, they're often met with hostility, they tended to be secretive.
Can you talk about the role that social media has played? Because especially if we're talking about the younger generation, they might not be as dedicated to being ordained and, you know, kind of doing all these rituals. But if I go up and down my timeline, now everybody's a witch. Everybody's burning sage.
Yes.
Prior to the turn of the 20th century, they utilized the internet or whatever media was available in order to be spiritual entrepreneurs. They would.
Y'all remember Cleo? Y'all remember Cleo back in the day? I mean, hold up. I was doing
sage.
Prior to the turn of the 20th century, they utilized the internet or whatever media was available in order to be spiritual entrepreneurs. They would sell goods and services. They would treat clients and so forth. With the coming of the digital age, and in particular social media, I really feel like younger people are grabbing on to some of the digital trends where they can sort of brand themselves as practitioners. It's a kind of identity to be a part of this. So the internet and social media has certainly helped to popularize it, but I really do feel strongly that this is something of a movement in that young Black people, they are reaching back, they are recovering that which is ancestral, but they're doing it in their own way.
I love it.
So do you want to light the candles? Should we do that? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna actually carve my sigils in the candle, because they're from here.
Majori is a 29-year-old fashion designer living in New York who practices witchcraft.
Ooh.
She casts spells with a coven of other young witches.
Ooh, a coven. Ooh, let's start a coven.
We're making money jars. So.
Ooh, money jars. Yo, me, Allie, Kia, we're gonna do a virtual coven. We're gonna open up a Zoom chat. We're gonna open up a Zoom chat on Halloween, and we're gonna do our virtual coven with all the ingredients.
So we're adding different herbs that manifest prosperity, money, success.
Oh, I need a money jar.
I feel like, you know, Hollywood and like in the movies, they kind of like gave this idea that, you know, magic was scary. And it's like, is this scary? It's not.
Would you consider this your religion as opposed to being Catholic?
Yes, definitely. Divination is my main form of like spiritual practice, but being Catholic too, it still like resonates and there's like some roots in there. I feel like Catholicism is extremely witchy. I mean, drinking the blood of Christ, I mean, you know,
Yes.
the whole sacrament, that's a
Yes,
ritual.
it
Like
is.
it is witchcraft. They just don't want to call it that. I just feel like we kind of need to get rid of that taboo mentality of like, this is something that is like evil or, you know, harmful, because it's not at all. It's the complete opposite of that.
Do you feel like in the last 5 to 10 years or so that is happening?
Because of social media, there's a huge surge of giving a light to the divination community and like witchcraft and everything, and people are now being more vocal about their practice and being more comfortable expressing themselves and showing their craft, and I think that's very beautiful.
This is Ultra Magica, or crystals, coming out of the broom closet. So I have the Majori, the punk priestess, here in the flesh.
For many young spiritualists, the online community has replaced the one they might have had at church, but without the strict mandates that come with other religions.
I'm not the type of witch that likes to subscribe to rules. I just do whatever it is I please.
charm.
If it doesn't fit the
Yes.
spell, I will improvise. It is what it is.
I feel like the rules, it's like oppressive. We need to have, you know, the system. You have to be a certified like tarot reader. And it's like, I want to like dismantle and get rid of that, because that's not what healership really is. You don't.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. You don't have to subscribe to these rules, because like, who's telling you these things? It's again, like, have your own independent thought. That is what divination is.
I'm just holding
Very
it off.
Taurus of you.
Oh, wait, an extra.
So today we're in Southfield, Michigan for the Detroit Hoodoo Festival, and dozens of spiritualists from around the country have come together. They all practice something different under the African traditional religious practices, but this is significant because 20, 30 years ago, these things were done in secret. So now they're gathering here at this hotel behind me for classes, workshops, there's vendors, and they're all just here to celebrate this new birth of spirituality.
I want to thank everybody for coming to the first annual Detroit Hoodoo Festival. And first up, we have a wonderful, powerful priestess, someone who really has a working grasp of the spirit, a working grasp of the traditions, a working grasp of how to facilitate and create change in your life. So please, if you would, welcome my sister, a powerful priestess, Mizzy50.
Beautiful people, how are y'all? First of all, thank you.
Ifa Abeyo is Melissa's spiritual mentor in the Lukumi faith.
Yeah, my
the
aunt
Bible
was,
is the biggest spell book known to man. We
my
just don't
aunt
know how to
was
use
Catholic.
Ifa was initiated into Lukumi 4 years ago, but has been practicing divination through tarot card readings since the 90s. So what was that experience like 20, 30 years ago, reading tarot cards?
In New Orleans and stuff, they call you root people, root workers, conjure people, and things like that. So it was taboo. It wasn't as it is now. That was a no-no. You would come after church. When the lights are out, you would come at night.
Yeah.
And, you know, get your reading or whatever work you need done.
Yep.
But it wasn't out like now. You would go in New York and Central Park and you got a table full of everybody reading.
20, 30 years ago when you were doing tarot and things in secret, could you have imagined that in 2021 you'd be at a Detroit Voodoo Festival teaching a class?
Now, I will say this. The person that started to do this, to take it out on the road, a lot of spiritual people were against it. They were like, no, it's gonna bring a lot of negative, it's gonna make spiritual people look horrible, but we still did it, because people now have a hunger.
How do you see these traditions and these religions evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
I see that more and more people who study this are seeing the health benefits, the mental health benefits, the healing benefits of religion and spirituality. It may not be conventional, it may not be what your parents did, but it's really, this is something that I think is going to grow, and it might be more broadly accepted because it works.
Let us be sun-drenched and beaming, anointed, let it rain. Let
I think there's so much power in this.
So be it.
I'm seeing y'all. I know we having fun too, but I just really want to like just say like it's kind of powerful to even hear y'all kind of recount your experiences with organized religion, and I will never demonize it. But there was a lot of things that were like unfulfilling about organized religion, and I think that also encouraged me to seek out just some other types of practices. For me, especially like with my mental health situation, with bipolar 2 disorder, I really find a lot of like, I really enjoy meditation, and like meditation with a certain focus, not necessarily asking for anything, not necessarily like manifesting anything, even though I believe in, you know, affirming language and using more positive and powerful, meaningful language. But I just think it's really important. I really love that y'all sharing a lot of your like, your religious, like, you know, your religious, origins or you know how you grew up. I think it's important. Joni in the chat, you said tying in Catholicism. I'm in high school. You said I am high church Episcopalian, and many other Christians think what we do is hoodoo. Really? I didn't know that. You said that we do an altar to our ancestors. See, it's on All Saints Day. That's amazing. And Nicole, you said you're done with organized religion. All right. I do like the new Pro Tools, progressive for sure. Yeah, I went to mass. Shout out to my one of my best friends is in Philly. Her name is Becky. Becky she Italian by marriage, but she probably tell you she's Italian, but she's really Hungarian. Anyway, she moved like an Italian because her husband Her last name is Palumbo. All right, so I went to mass. What's that famous church in Manhattan? It's not far from the Today Show. It's not far from 30 Rock. Is it St. Stephen's? It's a big church in New York City. It's not too far from 30 Rock. And we went and we had mass there. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. St. Patrick. Yeah. We went there a few years ago with the family. Yeah, I was acting up back there too, lighting candles. Yeah. It was really fun. It was fun to enjoy it. Yeah, St. Patrick's, y'all got it. Yeah.
So it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
Yeah, I think we should do like a Halloween coven. I might do a Twitch coven and then like play some movies and whatnot. There's been just so many articles and things on Black women with hoodoo, like this story from the Atlantic: the witches of Baltimore, young Black women are leaving Christianity and embracing African witchcraft and digital covens. Look at that, right? I just encountered this last night. This is from 2018. All of them in the month of a lot of stories in the month of November. Scorpio season. I think Scorpio sign is like the best sign. I think we got the best. I think we're just the best. I like the Scorpio. I like the Scorpion. We're the best. Problematic. All right. It says, we may not be Christian here, but we still pray, said a woman dressed entirely in white as she addressed a large audience of African-American women. Standing behind a lectern, speaking in the cadences of a preacher, she added, I understand God more now doing what I'm doing than I ever did in the church. That's what's up. And then this was a piece from Rutgers. I didn't get to read this. Rutgers Camden, stand up, Rutgers, South Jersey. All right, so this is, I can't wait to dive into this. So Rutgers Camden did this. Clears up misconceptions about hoodoo. In her new book, I'm about to cop this. In her new book, Katrina Hazard Donald says it's more than hex breaking oils and candles, right? So I guess this is her book, Mojo Working, the old African American hoodoo system. Katrina Hazard Donald. Oh, right. I can't wait. Oh, this just came out. Let me see if we can find her on YouTube. Katrina Hazard Donald. See if she's promoting that book. Yep, let's see. Yeah. Let's see if she's talking. Nope, not her. What is that? Oh, that guy, this right here, he's on TikTok. Conjure cleaning. He's on TikTok.
Hey y'all.
He makes good content.
This is going to be the first video and hopefully a longer series of hoodoo book reviews. The intention behind this series is to highlight and uplift Black authors in hoodoo.
So that's good. Good to see him. He read the book. I'll watch his review later. But for the purpose of this live stream, I just want to see if she did an interview. I guess not. All right. What time is it? 9:30? Okay. So I wanted to, let's see what else I wanted to play. On the lines of hoodoo. I don't know if that was it. Was that it? I know I wanted to play this. Hold on. And then I'll dip. That scene from Eve's Bayou. Let's see. Yeah. This right here. Let's see this.
Stay quiet.
Rest in peace, Diane Carroll.
Wait. Sometimes a soldier fall on his own sword. In 3 years' time, you will be happy again. 3 years. Look to your children. Dala.
That's it? Just wait 3 years and everything will be fine?
Look to your children.
Thank you.
I think too. I love this scene. I think it speaks to the frustration. I think sometimes people go to these practices expecting like instant results and whatnot. And I think, like we heard some of the other women speak about, especially the first one with the House of Hoodoo, this not about instantaneous like results. It's more about a spiritual practice that you do over a sustained period of time. And like, there's no witch, there's no healer, no conjurer that's gonna just solve all your problems. And even the fictional story that Eve and Royce wrote, speaks to that as well. Like, you might go for something and then like you'll get a different response, but it's what the universe, I don't know, it's either what the universe thinks is best for you, or sometimes things can backfire. What you think you want, you don't really need, right? In the chat, let me see, Nicole, you says, LOL, St. Anthony is your family saint. Is that your family saint, St. Anthony? And I still asking for help. I feel you. I got a Gullah New Testament, I think it's New Testament. It might be old. I think it's New Testament, but it's all in Gullah speak. Like, that to me, the only Bible I currently own in this location. I'm sure I got a Bible somewhere in storage, but like, that's the only Bible that I kind of like will go to. And especially when I do, so during certain moon cycles, I do this. I'll hop out of Eve's Bayou, and let's see, let me open up Google. So during certain moon cycles, I definitely do this practice, and there's a video for it that I'm gonna play. Let's see if recent. Here we go. And I posted this. A couple years ago. I think 2019. I think there's a typo in it, so I'm like real insecure. I think there's a typo in it that I call it. So I do okra baths, right? So this is a cleansing spiritual okra bath. You go to get the finest okra you can. So I would go to like the Whole Foods or whatever. I go to Earth Fair or Whole Foods, give me some okra. I don't know why going to the store does not matter. Just get you some damn okra, some good okra. So you'll need 20 fresh, clean okra pods, a container basin, a strainer, fresh water, like a lot of water. I use like Kool-Aid pitchers. Like, I make sure one or two Kool-Aid pitchers. And then like a big bowl as well. And then like you cut up the okra and you squeeze out all the juices. But there's a practice to it as you're doing that, right? So instead of me talking about it and showing you my infographic that definitely has a typo in it, let me show you what I'm talking about. Because this is where I got the recipe from, right here. Tatiana Tarot.
To show you how to conjure Hi, I am Tatiana Tarot, and I'm going to show you how to conjure an okra bath. So
it's not a bath that you sit in, though, Brienne. So you gotta pour it over you.
Baths, they're traditionally used in the Ifa spiritual practice that stems from the Yoruban tribe in Nigeria. Or Hoodoo practitioners also use it as well. And the purpose of doing an okra bath, for a couple of reasons. They're really great. So okra baths can be used to remove any negativity that you feel that you've accumulated through, your day-to-day life. So that could be through your interactions at work, through a lot of stress that you've accumulated. Heavy spiritual practitioners use it to eliminate toxicity, like Madre de Ojo, evil eye, maybe even hexes and spells that people throw at you.
Yes.
That's another end of the spectrum. When I am suggesting this bath to my clients, it's usually the case that they're encountering some sort of blockage. They feel very lethargic. They feel unmotivated. There's heavy weight on them energetically. And so the okra is... your everyday vegetable that you can find easily in your supermarket.
Allie, you could definitely, if you want to soak in a bunch of gooey okra, you might need some help getting out the bathtub, because you will. Let me tell you something. I was gonna say all jokes aside and then start laughing. So with the okra bath, I have to, of course, a bath mat. I have a bath. The way this tub is set up, It's not porcelain. So the bath, the traditional sticky suction cups bath mat don't work, and I learned the hard way because I'm doing them okra bath, whatever, and I'm at the part where you had to burn 4 white candles. I think 4. You put them at the corner of your bathtub, and then like you pour the solution over you. I mean, getting out that bad boy almost busted my ass. But okra's very, very, very gooey, so you got to be careful. It's definitely don't sit in the bath. Please don't.
Market as long as it's in season, and you can incorporate the spiritual properties of this vegetable to eliminate the bad vibes that you have on you.
So okra has spiritual qualities, like she said. That's so in the infographic, though, what I will lift up is that what I was trying to communicate. Let me see. So when you're working with the product, like everything you do when you start the bath is like serious, like spiritual practice. Like I'll wear all white or light, bright colors that attract healing energy, that attract positive energy. So you don't want to wear anything dark, and you want to kind of really just be really mindful with the okra, the contents of the okra. Let me see if I got the other part, because it's 2 parts. Let me see. That's 1 of 2. Where's 2? Hit next, Mika. No. It's giving me the let me use the PDF real quick. Why don't it show me the whole thing? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so as you're preparing it, right? As you're preparing it, you're prepare to bathe yourself, pour the mixture over your head to coat. So you need enough water to coat your whole body, right? As you stand in the tub or a shower stall, right? Oh, light 2 candles, not 4. Light 2 candles, and place them on either side of the bathing area, right? As you remove your clothing, and then you recite like a psalm or something like that, like a scripture or something like that. Like Nicole said, like maybe you'll talk to your family saint, right? And you have like a prayer that's very intentional, and you ask to break that negative energy, you break the curse, break the hex. That's the point. Let me again. I got this from Tatiana. I don't know why I'm explaining.
So I'm going to show you a step-by-step way, really easily, for you to use this in the luxury of your own home.
And you need some Florida water. I made my own because during the pandemic, it was nowhere to be found. So I made mine with bottom shelf vodka, real fresh orange peel, fresh lime peel, fresh rosemary. I brewed all this on the stovetop. I took the alcohol, the rosemary, the fresh orange peel, lime peel, some cloves, some cedarwood oil, peppermint oil. This stuff really too, don't put that on your face. The Florida water, like mine will really burn your face or burn your skin. But it's in the okra too. Like, so I made the Florida water, and then I poured some of it into the okra bath solution. But yeah, it smelled beautiful. My apartment smelled very, very earthy.
It is not one of those traditional baths that is like
I can share it with you.
A lot of beautiful.
I can share it with you. You might have a typo in there. I can share it with you in the DMs on Instagram.
Sense going on, and it's you're soaking in it and you're feeling good. Okra baths are a little messy. They're not labor intensive, but very gooey. It can be uncomfortable putting it on you. You're gonna get soaked. Your hair is gonna get soaked. So if you are allergic to okra, if you're opposing getting dirty and getting messy, of course this is going to be taking place in your shower, in your bathtub, then I suggest that you look for an alternative cleanse. However, this is super, super effective for all the reasons that I've just listed. It can be used anytime that you want. I usually do it once a month for me, my husband. You could do it on your children.
Cover your kids in okra seeds and use like a stocking or something, y'all, like a cheesecloth or something to drain once you squeeze, because when you letting the okra soak and then you squeeze it and you like do your little spiritual recitation, but make sure when you strain it and let all the goo, all the magic goo and all that spiritual stuff make sure you use something like pantyhose or something that will help you strain the seeds, because you will have getting seeds in curly hair is not fun, especially covered in like okra juice. I do it during the full moon. That's when I've done it. I haven't done it for a long time, but I've done it during the full moon, and just really just created some intentional time and space aside. But she's legit, and this is like from 2018. Her content has just really grown, and she's great on Instagram. I really trust and like her work. And you can find Okra Bath online, but it's a very special vegetable with spiritual properties. And y'all know, like okra and black folk, going back to the Gullah Root Magic, okra and black folk here, there's a special connection. It's not just a culinary staple, but it has certain spiritual qualities to it. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to play regarding hoodoo. I don't think so. That is it. Like, I think that's it. There were just so many articles about Christians leaving the church, why some young black Christians are practicing hoodoo. This is relatively recent, right? The ancestral religious practices of the African diaspora were forced underground, like we heard so many people say. So just some really good reading and pieces on folks really connecting with their blackness through, I want to cop this book, through just connecting with hoodoo. And it's Hoodoo Heritage Month, so Gullah Root Magic, please lift it up. This was a special on Haiti. I'm not going to play this, but meet the Voodoo Priestess summoning healing spirits in a post-earthquake Haiti. That was from a few years ago, but we're not going to play that. But yeah, I'll leave it there. That was fun. Yeah, we gonna definitely, I think we will, because let me tell you, that's what I want to do. This is the last thing. So please make sure, if you really like this live stream, please check out Eden Royce's Spook Lights 1 and 2. Kia, get the first book and read Hag Riot. It's short, it's a page turner, but it's worth it. I had a good day today. This is Wednesday. Really good good couple of shows. Yeah, I've been feeling really good as we figure this thing out. Make sure, if you like this content, to support me on Patreon, even $1 a month. If 12 people give $1 a month, y'all do the math, you know what I mean? 12 times 12 times 12. I'm not that, I got math anxiety. But anyway, yeah, if you really like this work and this content, please consider becoming a patron. $1 a month is fine. $2 a month is fine. Really appreciate it. But I wanted to, so lately, y'all, shout out to y'all that's been supporting that reel I did about the Vendu. Y'all like that? I love that one. The Vendu. I got a really good response on that one. I'm doing part 2 today. After I get off here, I'm going to film part 2. But so lately I was there was an old piece of content that kept getting likes, and I'm like, why is this getting likes? And I'm like, duh, Tamika, it's Hoodoo Heritage Month, right? And so this was my gateway drug to Eden Royce, actually. Was this story right here? Hold on. Was this story right here? Every Goodbye Ain't Gone. So much so, look at Brienne right here. OG. Hey, Brienne. And so this story, I found a podcast, and it was a narrated, someone narrated Eden Royce's story, Every Goodbye Ain't Gone. Y'all, this is like if you love Charleston, if you love today's live stream, if you love learning more about hoodoo and Gullah Root Magic, this is the story. Let me play a little bit of it, because took me hours to transcribe. It took me hours to transcribe this. I remember like halfway through, I'm like, is it worth it? Is anyone gonna watch this? And people watched it.
Every Goodbye Ain't Gone by Eden Royce. Mixie smelled chicken pilau cooking when she got home from work and knew someone had died.
I know, Kia.
In her 30 years, the only time her mother ever cooked was when a person had passed on and someone needed to speak with the dead. She strode over to the pot bubbling away on the stove and lifted the lid. The fragrance of smoked pork rolled out, along with the scent of roasting chicken broth and fresh thyme from the back garden. She stirred it to inhale more of the essence, but she knew better than to eat Mama's magic. Instead, she strolled to the fridge and stared at the offerings inside. "Who died?" she asked. Her mother was chopping away at something on a cutting board, her back to Mixie, the knife crunching
Have
wetly
fun,
through.
Nicole.
None of your business. Yeah, but who? Mixie found a peach, almost too soft. She could.
So this, y'all, again, I'm gonna leave it here. And good luck, Nicole, if you're still watching. Good, safe travels, have fun. Disney already? What holidays? Let me stop. But no, please head over to Instagram. Every Goodbye Ain't Gone is in the IG stories. I'll probably pop it back up since it's so popular. People are trying to find it during Hoodoo Heritage Month. But Eden Royce is that chick. She's that girl. Support Eden Royce. Buy her books. Root Magic, the kids book, the young adult fiction, and then Spook Lights and anything Eden Royce. Every Goodbye Ain't Gone, and there's a couple of other stories. This will be your gateway drug. It's a 32-minute listen. It's great for you driving, and but it's not for kiddos. It's got some mature content in there, but it's some cheating, some dead husbands, some Charleston. It's really good. It's a really good listen. But I'll end it there, y'all. Thanks for rocking with me today. I'll see you tomorrow. Shout out to Stephen Bowden. Shout out to everybody. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.